Welcome back. Jury trials are on hold across the country as the legal system scrambles to adapt to physical distancing rules. Every province and territory has delayed jury trials until the fall, with only one exception, Prince Edward Island, which didn't have any jury trials on its schedule to delay. With a closer look at the issue, we're joined by Danielle Robitaille, partner at Hennon Hutchinson LLP and co-host of the Lawyers Lounge podcast. Great to talk to you this morning. In BC and Manitoba, jury trials will either be rescheduled or will proceed on schedule, but with a judge only. Is this something we're going to see other provinces do as well?
Well, I think what you'll see is there'll be a bit of a different response from region to region, province to province. But every system actor is acknowledging the reality of the pandemic and working through what that means. For people who stand accused of serious crimes, it may mean that they will not have access to a jury of their peers really in a timely way, because it will be very difficult to assemble a jury roll in a courthouse in the foreseeable future. And of course, that impacts constitutional rights, Ben.
Now, you, on top of being a very busy lawyer, you also host a podcast called The Lawyers Lounge. You've spoken with lawyers in every province and territory about how the courts are adapting and the need for physical distancing. Are there different approaches by lawyers across the country?
There are different approaches by different courts across the country. For our podcast, we managed to reach a lawyer in every province and territory to really get a sense of what's happening in the field. And there were kind of wide differences of approaches from region to region. So what you saw in Ontario was the halting of all contested trials, which will create quite a backlog. And it's understandable. There was quite a bit of community spread in Ontario. But what you saw in other provinces was that they continued with trials for people who were in custody. You saw that in the Yukon, in Manitoba and Saskatchewan. In Quebec, there was a way of assessing whether the trial was an emergency, and it proceeded, notwithstanding the pandemic. And so in terms of what's going to happen in the future, you see that different provinces are doing little moots. They're doing mock trials in courthouses to see how will physical distancing work in a trial context. And then finally, every province and territory in the country is figuring out how to harness technology in a trial context. How can you have witnesses, judges, and lawyers dial in to a Zoom conference, for example, and conduct a trial? So all of that is being discussed, test run, and all actors are working together to find solutions to this unprecedented problem.
Yeah, I think technology is the key, but of course, the devil's in the details, isn't it? And meanwhile, in Ontario and Saskatchewan, jury trials and selection won't resume until at least September. How are these delays and uncertainty affecting the legal system? I mean, could this be causing some cracks?
Well, you know, the thing that I think about, Ben, and you know, I'm betraying my role in the system. As you know, I do a lot of defense work. I'm thinking about the men and women who stand accused, who have been waiting for their trial. They've been waiting for their day in court to assert their innocence and have the Crown prove the case against them. And, you know, for the people whose trials in March, April, May, and June have been adjourned, they've been waiting for many, many months for that moment, you know, to stand up and assert themselves. And the cloud of suspicion hanging over you is a tremendous stress and strain on yourself and your family. And then you think about the people who've been waiting in custody, Ben, waiting in jail for that moment to appear before a jury of their peers or
Danielle,
a judge.
We're going to have to leave it there. But thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.